Hello, good evening everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. This video is going to be a little different and unique because it's not really directly related to Darth Dawkins, but it's more related to presuppositional apologetics in general. So this is something a little different because usually I don't respond or have anything to say or deal with presuppositional apologetics in general. But I'm going to break my own rule this time. But anyway, this would be what I would consider to be a response to any and all presuppositional apologetics. I'm going to play a clip here, which is it's going to show a couple quotes from Greg Bahnsen. And even though Bahnsen passed away several years ago, he is still looked at as being a leading person or a leading figure in presuppositional apologetics. Darth Dawkins refers to him many, many times, as well as many other presuppers. So I'm going to show you a couple quotes here from Greg Bahnsen. This is like a mission statement. It could be considered a mission statement for presuppers by Greg Bahnsen. Okay, here are those clips.
Glorify Him and testify to Him consistently and faithfully. And so your work is not to change people's hearts. In a sense, your work is simply to close their mouths, death unto death. Your job is not to change the heart of the unbeliever. Only the Holy Spirit can do that. Your job is to shut his or her mouth. And when you effectively defend the faith, even though the person may go on jabbering and talking, you will, in theory, have shut their mouth when you've shown that their argument can't even make sense.
Oh, okay. Really? Well, this is going to be fun. This is going to be easy. Well, you heard him speaking, and there are at least two assumptions there. And I'm going to deal with each of them separately. The first assumption is that I have my mouth open, or that I'm saying something, or that I'm speaking. That's the first assumption. The second assumption, he mentioned the word argument, okay? So it's assuming that I am presenting some type of an argument. That's the second assumption. Well, I'm here to say, I just counted just now. I went to my YouTube. I went to my studio inside my YouTube account, and I took account of how many videos that I have did over the last 4+ years. Right now, I have 1,407 videos that I've did. Now, I'm going to grant that not all of these videos are public. In fact, several of them are either unlisted or private. So that's one thing I want to, make clear. But another thing is that out of these 1,407 videos, the majority of these videos are something where I am not speaking at all. I am merely showing other people what a presuppositional apologist says about their own worldview. So let's take the first assumption about me, about that word argument. If that means, if by what he's saying is that there is some argument going on, well, I've managed to put together several hundred videos. Not only that, I think I have on the range somewhere of maybe 6 or 7 complete websites, and I have a quiz. And in those 6 or 7 websites and my quiz, I do not present an argument. It's not there. if you go look at it, it's nowhere to be found. So the assumption that I have to come up with some argument, or that I have to take my worldview and lay it down side by side and make a comparison between my worldview or an argument versus someone else's worldview or their argument, that is an assumption. Now, number two, the idea that I have my mouth open, so to speak, again, ditto number one. I don't have to say anything. I can completely be silent. It is not necessary for me to say anything about anything in order to show the flaws and the inconsistencies and the incoherence of presuppositional apologetics. I don't have to open my mouth at all. All I have to do is show on its own merit, because the claim is that presuppositional apologetics can stand on its own. It is a standalone worldview, meaning it holds itself up. Well, good. If that is the case, then I don't have to deal with any so-called counterfeit worldviews or alternative worldviews. I don't have to deal with any of that. I don't have to mention anything about any other worldview. The only thing I have to show is what somebody is saying about their own worldview. And based on it, and itself alone, it should be able to hold up on its own merit. So, in closing, I think it is, I will even use the word obvious. I won't use the word self-evident. I won't use that word because I know what that word means. And it is a word, that word self-evident is, well, let me put it this way. For somebody who is going around claiming that they are conservative, that word is being used extremely radically liberal, okay, to say the least. So, but I think it's obvious that when you look at my YouTube channel and my websites and my quiz, it's obvious that, number one, I'm not, for the majority of the time, I am not saying anything, nor is it necessary for me to say a single word. Okay? Now, I will close by saying that in general, presuppositional apologetics is a grotesque failure. Why? Because it's saying that you have to close someone's mouth. Well, here I am, just little old me. No one has closed my mouth yet in 4 years. Presup hates a free voice. It hates a voice that can express itself. It hates being open. It hates, well, presup, again, just like Bonson said, it's a form of suppression. So it hates anything that counters that concept. And specifically with Darth Dawkins, he has went on record as saying that he loves the power of the mute button. And his favorite, I'll use his word, strategy, or another word, tactic, that's what he loves to do. You are met with suppression, suppression, suppression. So, please feel free to leave your comment or questions. And thank you very much for listening. And please hit that like button and also the subscribe. Thank you.
From a biblical, I'm only going to give you the biblical perspective.
I want your perspective. I don't.
I'm
really
giving you my perspective is the biblical perspective.
Okay.
Okay,
Because the message of Christianity as it is spoken by me, the denial of which leads to incoherence. I believe, and by the way, I'm sure you're aware that I only defend Christian theism. In Christian theism,
listen to me carefully. The reason why I have to be so assertive is because I have this teenage mentality. Listen carefully.